This is Coyote News.
Hello, I'm Levi Goots. Tonight on Coyote Sports, we take a look at basketball postseason action, and the Coyotes now have a national champion. But first, the headlines with Lauren Solek. Lauren?
The U.S. women's national hockey team is threatening to boycott the World Championships because of a wage dispute. The team announced this morning that they'll not participate in the International Ice Hockey Federation tournament beginning March 31st. Players say they don't plan on reporting to training camp next week unless progress is made toward fair support and wages. Representatives for USA Hockey haven't commented on the announcement. Sophomore Ellie Burns has been named the Summit League's Women's Tennis Player of the Week. This is Burns' first award this season and second of her career. Burns earns the award after posting a pair of comeback victories last week. USD head football coach Bob Nielsen announced the team's spring practice schedule. Highlighting the schedule is the spring game, which is set for April 21st at 7 p.m. All 14 scheduled practices will be held inside the Dakota Dome. The full schedule can be found online at goyotes.com. And those are your headlines.
March Madness is officially underway. The men's basketball team will make their NIT debut tonight against the Iowa Hawkeyes in Iowa City. The Yotes received an automatic bid into the tournament after winning the Summit League regular season title. The men suffered a tough loss to rival SDSU in the semifinals of the Summit League tournament last week. This is the Coyotes' second postseason appearance at the Division I level. USD competed in the CollegeInsider.com tournament back in 2010. The game will be televised tonight on ESPN2 starting at 8. Joining the men in postseason action will be the women's basketball team. The Yotes earned an at-large bid into the women's NIT and will host North Dakota tonight. The women suffered an early knockout of the Summit League tournament after losing to Omaha in the quarterfinals. This will be the women's 7th straight season competing in a postseason tournament. USD won the WNIT last season, and it holds an 8-2 overall record in the tournament. Tip-off is tomorrow night at 7. Freshman pole vaulter Chris Nielsen captured the indoor national title by clearing 18 feet 8 1/4 inches at the NCAA championships. Nielsen tied his personal best height and still holds the American under-20 indoor record. Nielsen won every meet he competed at this season. Teammate Samara Spencer joined Nielsen at the championships, competing in the long jump. Spencer placed 16th with a jump of 18 feet 2 1/2 inches. Spencer earned second team All-American honors. Coyote News' Andy Hartman is live in the muck to talk with Chris Nielsen, the top college pole vaulter in the nation. Andy?
Thanks, Levi. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so you're a national champion now. Was this a goal of yours when you decided to come to USD last year?
Yeah, it was definitely my goal to come in and not necessarily be a national champion, but just kind of do the best that I could at the national meet. And I was really grateful for South Dakota giving me the opportunity to go there and compete for them, so that was the goal.
All right, and you've had a lot of success so far this season. Are there any kind of pre-meet rituals that you do to kind of get ready?
No, just make sure I eat really well the week before and sleep really well the week before, and then make sure I just get a lot of good training in before the meet, and if that all happens, then I'm usually pretty good.
All right, and you're transitioning from kind of your indoor season to outdoor season. Have your preparations or your practices changing at all because of that?
No, they haven't. Back in the beginning of the indoor season, we did a little stuff where we would stem up, like my coaches like to call it, and get us ready for the first few meets, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're kind of relaxing a bit off the nationals because that was a lot of mental and physical pressure. So right now we're just training back up for that, and then we'll be good to go for Arizona in a couple days.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Yep, thank you.
Right. The Coyote track team travels to Arizona on Friday. Live in the muck, I'm Andy Hartman.
Thanks, Andy.
All right,
the softball team was in
Thank you.
Seattle for the Husky Classic last weekend. The Coyotes lost to both Washington and Minnesota by scores of 8-0, followed a canceled game against Seattle the previous day. The Yotes have one more tournament before starting Summit League play next week. Divers Isaac Morris and Grayson Herding represented USD at the NCAA Zone D Diving Championships. Herding advanced to the finals for the 1 meter in the first time in her career. Herding finished 17th on the 1 meter and 33rd on the 3 meter board. Morris placed 22nd on both the 1 and 3 meter boards. The men's and women's golf team traveled to Las Vegas for the SDSU Jackrabbit Invitational. Freshman Hunter Paw was named the Summit League Golfer of the Week and finished in a tie for 11th, while sophomore Tommy Vining tied for 18th. The Coyotes tied for 4th overall out of 12 teams. On the women's side, senior Brenna Lervik finished with a tie in 7th, and teammate Abby Dufresne ended the tournament with a tie in 16th. The women's team continues their season at the Sacramento State Invitational this weekend, and the men are playing in the Grand Canyon Invitational in Arizona.